Were there other officers and witnesses who corroborated the officer's account of what happened and witnessed some of the behavior, or is it strictly a he said, she said?
Well, no, that's a good question. I think that there was corroboration. I mean, I'm sure there was corroboration. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been reported. Because I do think you're always in that, part of a skilled investigator's job is to find corroboration. But let's just make this about the charges and what happened. And I think the township recommended proper discipline. So this is serious stuff. We can't tolerate discrimination at any level from anybody. And we shouldn't accept it. But the decision by Chief Oliver, or Dave Oliver, to now retire is his own. And I think it's...
I think it's because you put somebody under pressure, you know. Now,
That's his decision.
Dave told me that, you know, after I talked to him about this, I said, he goes, Mike, if you didn't discipline me, I would have been pissed off. Dave is a stand-up man.
No,
And I mean, you know, for him to say that, he will never tell you that this board did not support him.
First of all, I think I'm shared with the whole community. Our prayers go out to David Oliver and his family in this time. I read his statements. I've heard all the things that are going on. And I think that really what we have here is David Oliver supported the 2-week suspension. He said that the system has to work. He's a person of the law. We have to be people of laws. He supported it. If there's a 2-week suspension in place, let the findings come out. If he's guilty of insensitivity or not being aware, there's training for those things. There's a lot of different items. And from a legal standpoint, for us to accept his resignation based on his emotional state, unless you guys have a conclusive piece of evidence that he's guilty, I think is wrong. I think it's premature. I think we're jumping the gun.
Probably it was 5 to 6 weeks ago. Both Mike and I, he was going to resign. Had nothing to do with any of this that was going on now. He was going to resign because he was tired. He was ready to move on. We convinced him at that time to stay. We didn't want him to leave. We convinced him at that time to stay. But 6 weeks ago, you could have been here at the same meeting with him turning his resignation in because he's ready to move on or whatever it may be. The 10 days that are out there have nothing to do with David Oliver's decision that he made last night. At 9 o'clock or whatever it was. He made that decision that he was ready to move on. I mean, there are other issues out there besides actually the suspension. David's got a medical issue that's out there that he, you know, with the post-traumatic stress disorder, that he's been ready to move on for a while now. And I think this is just the point where he made his final decision that he was going to move on.